Wake up with Matt in the morning.
Hey guys, welcome to Matt in the Morning. My name is Matt and this is Matt in the Morning. And today, we're doing quarantine pulled pork prep. This is gonna be great. So listen, I'm seeing a lot of people out there in the stores just stocking up on frozen pizza, canned food, okay, I guess I get that. But a lot of frozen stuff. A lot of just stuff that you don't normally really want to eat. And I thought, well, why are we doing that? Why not do something delicious? So we're doing pulled pork. Listen, we're gonna brine this thing. I've already got the brine made. Got it right here. It's the same way I did in a previous video. The how-to and all that is gonna be down below in the description, so just go down and check it out. You basically just throw everything in the ingredient list in a big pot, you boil it, and then you let it cool down. You throw the pork butts in there, you top it off with apple juice, water if you want, and you let it sit for a day or two. Down below here, I've got the pork butts. I'm doing 2 of them because I'm just gonna do a big prep. I trim most of the fat cap off, as you can see. A lot of people, these are obviously not bone in, by the way. I trim a lot of the fat cap off. There's reasons for that. There's plenty of fat inside of here, so I'm not too worried about it. But I've already got it trimmed up. I'm not a butcher and I don't have good knives, so I didn't want to bore you with all that. Plus people would have comments on that. So got them all trimmed up. I've got the brine ready to go. I'm gonna drop them in for a day or two, bring them back out. I'm gonna season them. I'll show you what I'm using when I get back. And after that, I'll let them sit for about a half a day and we'll go ahead and throw them on the smoker. Now the thing is, at the end of this video, the prep part comes when, after we shred these things up, I'm gonna show you how to get these things sealed up, almost like a vacuum seal without having a vacuum sealer. If you got a vacuum sealer, great, vacuum seal them. Otherwise, I got a little trick for you on how to store these a little bit more gooder. So anyways, I'm gonna drop both of these in the bucket. Oh, and you want it cooled off. You want it room temp so you're not starting to cook these puppies. Take my gloves off. Here's what we got, guys. Boom. I'm gonna top this off, add a little bit of apple juice. And then what I'm gonna do is in the morning, I'll take these out and flip them all around just so the brine touches everywhere. I'll let them sit about another day. That's it. So anyways, quarantine food prep video. I'll be back. Right, so at this point, the brining is done. It's been about 2 days. You can just do it for a day if you want. I did it for 2, so I usually do it for 2. If I was in a time crunch and I only had 1 day, that's fine too. So down below you can see I got the pork butts, pulled them out, patted them dry, and I'm ready to do the seasoning. Now here's what we're doing. I'm switching it up a little bit. I'm going with, one of them's gonna have some big Moe Casons, I don't know, beef rub. I know it's pork. That's okay. It even says right here, it goes equally well on pork, chicken, and wild game. So we're gonna try this one, and the other one we're going with Stubbs Pork Rub with sea salt, garlic, and lime. I don't know. I usually make my own mixture that's heavy on the brown sugar, and it's really good, but I just wanted to switch it up. Plus time-wise, didn't want to deal with that. So that's what we're gonna do. And we're gonna do a very liberal amount of seasoning. This is a big chunk of pork, and so, you know, you wanna be heavy-handed. If you're kind of willy-nilly with it, you're not even gonna get much flavor in there. So, and really, it's just gonna be on the outer layer, but once we go to shred it up, it'll get mixed in. So anyhow, let's go ahead and get this thing seasoned up. So, all right, so where we're at so far with the quarantine pulled pork prep is, went to Costco, got the 2-pack of pulled pork, brought it back, got the brine going, boiled water, put salt, sugar, bay leaves, and some apples in it. Just go until it dissolves, let it cool to room temp, then put the pork butts in it, top it off with apple juice. Let it sit for a day or two, pull it out, pat it dry, and do what we're doing right here, which is season these puppies up. And I'm gonna let it sit overnight. In the morning, I'm gonna crank up the smoker at 200 degrees. We're gonna use a competition blend, Pit Boss competition blend to be exact. And we're gonna You know, time-wise, I don't know. Depends on when this thing wants to get done. I've had pork butts done in like 8 hours. I've had them done in 12 hours. So temp here is a little bit different than it was there in the Seattle area where I was at. So yeah, we'll just see how long it takes. Usually people say 1.5 to 2 hours per pound, something like that. But you know, once it hits the stall at about 160 to 165, I mean, this thing could stall out for 2 hours. I don't really know. But that's fine. And once it does hit that internal temp of 165 to about 170 is when I do the wrap on it. I don't know if I'm gonna go with butcher paper, with the pink butcher paper, or tin foil. I might do 1 and 1, I'm not sure yet. I usually do tin foil, but I got some pink butcher paper, so we might go that route. And then we'll just monitor the temp until we get to about 205, 206, 207, somewhere in there. No more than 210. We'll pull them. Then we're gonna wrap it in about 3 layers of thick foil, put it in a cooler with some towels, and let it sit for about an hour to 1.5 hours, maybe 2, depends what's going on. Then at that point, we'll pull them out, shred them up, and package them up. And that's the big thing with this video, is how we're gonna package them up. If you have a vacuum sealer, fine. I got one, that's what I use. But if you don't, the biggest part of this video is showing you how you can get close to vacuum sealed without being vacuum sealed. So yeah, so I'm gonna prep both of these up, package them up, freeze them up. So if this quarantine stuff goes any longer, you know, hey, we're not having to eat frozen pizzas or whatever. Ramen noodles, stuff like that. We're gonna eat good as we can. So anyways, yeah, I'm not gonna bore you with cranking up the smoker in the morning. I'm just gonna go ahead and bring you back just to show you maybe when we spritz or something like that. So anyways, there we go. So it's been about 4 hours. Let's take a look. Oh man, these things are looking good. Internal temp 151. We got a ways to go, of course. Internal temp on this one 150. We're looking for about 165, 167, somewhere in there. These things are looking good. Just a quick little check. Got the smoke tube rolling. Oh yeah. All right, let's let them roll. All right, we got an internal temp of about 165 to 167. As you can see down below, we are ready to wrap, and these things are looking good. Take a look at this. And again, over here on this side, we got Big Moe's, and this side we got the Stubbs. They both look good and they smell good. And I have decided to go with the pink butcher paper for the wrap. So I'm gonna go ahead and wrap both of these up. We're gonna plop them back on the smoker until we get an internal temp of around 205. At that point, we'll pull it and shred it. So yeah, we'll go ahead and get them both wrapped. I'm just going to do a few fold overs. Bam. Just like that, they're both wrapped, ready to go. And real quick, so some people don't wrap. Some people wrap in tin foil, and some people wrap in the pink butcher paper. They say the pink butcher paper is kind of an in-between because it breathes, unlike tin foil. So they say the pink butcher paper, that's just kind of the in-between between foil and not wrapping. Anyways, I don't know. There we go. I'm gonna toss them back on. We'll bring them back in when it's time to shred. And then the most important part of the video is packaging, because that's the whole thing, right? This is our coronavirus pulled pork prep video. I'll be back. All right, and just like that, they're done. So, as you can see from down below, they're ready to go, ready to shred. They're both sitting at about 205. I let them rest for only about 30 minutes. Usually I like to do an hour, and they can go up to 2-3 hours, even 4 doing the cooler trick like I did. And the cooler trick is you just wrap them in blankets. Well, you take them out, you wrap them in tin foil, wrap those in blankets, put it in a cooler. It can sit in there for hours on end. At least 30 minutes, an hour is better, but here we are. So, I'm gonna go ahead and shred these things up, and then we're gonna get right to the packaging part, because that's the main thing of this video, is showing you how to package these things up. First, I'm gonna taste it. Start over here. We've got some good bark on this. That Big Moe's Beef Rub. That's good. Good hearty taste. Let's try the Stubbs. Stubbs is good. Stubbs is a little more salty. Let's get them shredded up and see what happens. And by the way, I'm using some Pampered Chef shredders. These things are great. No, I'm not a Pampered Chef guy. Clark of Clark's Chili hooked me up with them, and they work great. So let's get these things shredded up here. All right, and just like that, it's shredded up. So let's jump over to the sink. I want to show you how you can get these sealed up without, I'm gonna show you how to seal these things up without needing a vacuum sealer. So what I do is I take the Ziploc baggie and I get it almost all the way closed. What you're gonna do is just drop it down into the water and push down on it. What that's gonna do is that's pushing all the air out because of the pressure. Get it as close as you can, then seal it. Boom. That's as close to vacuum sealed as you're gonna get without a vacuum sealer. So there you go. You're gonna do that to all 4, or however many you got. I just have 4 ready to bag up. I'm giving some to the wife's aunt and uncle so they can try out these rubs as well. Boom. And I'll get the rest packaged later. I do have a vacuum sealer. I prefer to use the vacuum sealer, but I just wanted to point out for those of you that do want to meal prep, do a big cook and get some packaged up for down the road. Especially during this quarantine stuff, right? Get things packaged up so you got it. So now all you gotta do is thaw it out. Oh, and a trick for thawing stuff out. Maybe you already know this, but I just would take these out of the freezer and start a pot of boiling water, put it in there for 15 minutes or however long. Boom. There we go. Anyways, that's it, guys. Let's go ahead and put you back. Let's go ahead and put everybody back. Boom. Boom. Anyways, that's it, guys. That is quarantine pulled pork prep. Tried out these 2 new rubs, Big Moe's and Stubbs. Stubbs, that's more commercial stuff, right? And sure enough, a little on the salty side for me, so I probably won't get that again. But Big Moe's turned out really good. Actually really good. Has a nice blend of seasonings to it. Really has a good taste going on. Now if you want to know what I use for the most part, go back to my first pulled pork video. I'll have a link to that here at the end here in a second, where I make my own. And that's really good. I actually like that better than both of these. So I'll probably just go back to that. But it's always good to try new things. So there we go. Anyways, hey, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed this video. Tune in again next week. We're back. We're here in Studio B doing it. So anyways, stay healthy and we'll see you soon.